Hi, I'm John,
Is Nick.
I'm Andrew.
and welcome to episode number 10 of the JNA podcast. We're doing something
Hey,
a little bit different with this episode. Like the Beatles, we're switching up the style with our pieces. Each is such a wonderful plethora of features. But we kind of wanted to do a recap on everything we've done thus far, and the idea we kind of had is that every month we'll kind of just do a little recap on the topics we covered that month, do a little bullshit, and as we do. So last one we did was coronavirus 2. We've hit an unfortunate milestone of 100,000 U.S. deaths. Y'all got any comments on that?
Fucking nasty. That's my comment.
Eh,
yeah, I don't like hearing about anybody dying, man. Like especially this death toll keeps climbing. I hope just people just keep being safe. Really hope they're being safe out there, washing their hands and taking the precautions, social distancing, etc. Mm.
mm,
It's almost to a point where I don't. When are we gonna get back to normal? Is there even gonna be a new normal? Is it ever going to go back to what it was? It's going to be something completely different now, or we just like the social distancing thing is going to be like permanent?
I don't know about permanent, but that's this is going to change the social contract for a lot of things.
Absolutely. Just think of how it's going to be when things do kind of get back to normal. It's going to be weird shaking people's hands, right?
Yeah.
I was even when I watch podcasts and stuff like that, I hear people talking about they like watching movies or whatever, and they see people shake hands or even get close to each other. Like that gives them a cringe a little bit. And, like hadn't even been that long we've been doing this, and it's already changed like to a new normal of keeping social distancing.
Mm.
I hope it gets back to normal soon. I'm scared to think about what would happen if like some of the like really serious kind of virus comes around. Like, well, what if like another bubonic plague or something like that? Something that it does kill like half the people and infects or whatever even more. I mean, that'd be catastrophic.
Mm.
Yeah, I have a feeling that there's going to be like new procedures, but not really procedures. I guess I should say more or less like just people's train of thought when it comes to kind of socializing. I think that'll be a little bit different, and it's definitely not going to be the same whether everything goes back to normal or not. When it comes to all the restrictions being lifted, it's going to be a while before it actually feels normal. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That is true. But trying to spin off like a lighter topic because it's just kind of depressing to talk about
Yeah.
everybody being locked in their house and everything like that. I'm just curious about on your guys' side of this roundup. You guys have a favorite podcast that we've done so far? Like an episode? Do you have like what's what you guys' favorite one that we had done?
Nick, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, sure. My favorite one actually to do, and with the research that we did, and it might be because it was a little new. I would say the conspiracy theory episode was pretty much my favorite one to do. It just felt more exciting, in my opinion. Not that the other episodes weren't. I'm not saying that at all. But I didn't even pick the conspiracy theory episode. Honestly, the topic, I should say. But that one felt more. I don't know. It just felt more exciting to do. Honestly, we all picked our own conspiracy theory to elaborate on. It was just pretty fun to do that one.
Mm.
Or one for Andrew.
Hmm.
What about you, John?
I would say actually probably our second episode, which was kind of more of a catch-all. Just I thought it perfectly exemplified the things that we wanted to do with this, which was just kind of sit around and bullshit and just kind of learn some shit too.
Yeah.
The space one though, that was very educational. I did enjoy that.
Which space one? The one about UFOs, Andrew's topic, or the actual space talk one that I came up with?
The actual space one, like the UFO and conspiracy theory one. That was actually what I was gonna pick, just because that's it. Like, as even if I didn't much enjoy the topic itself, just we had a really good flow going. That's it. It was a wonderful exchange of ideas.
Yeah.
I agree.
I enjoyed the space one too. I just felt like an idiot because I was like, once I didn't know about the distance.
Mm.
Like, the funniest thing too, like after we did that podcast about space and was making fun of CVS receipts, I'm at work and I'm like cleaning up stuff. I swear to God, here comes strolling through the window right up to my foot is a long ass CVS receipt.
They
It was
are
like the day, it was like the day after we did the podcast. I thought it was hilarious.
they are oddly very long. Like the longest
they are.
receipt in any store that you could think of,
Mm.
Reached all the way to Jupiter.
It's funny.
I hope we do a space podcast or the space one like part 2 though. That I definitely want to get into. Like we haven't even hit like the tip of the iceberg with the space one.
Yeah, honestly, space is big.
Really big.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing another one on space. Of course, there's any other topics that we haven't even touched base on, so I'm sure that one will come back to light sooner or later. Sure it will.
I guarantee you, there's gonna be more. Like the next time I pick a topic, it's probably gonna be about aliens again. Like that's definitely coming back up. Undoubtedly.
That is his jam.
It is my shiznit. Sure is too. I mean, I think I want to do history podcasts in the future, but I don't know. Like it's just huge. The aliens have attached to them has always been really fascinated about. And plus, this year's getting so damn crazy. Like, let's face it, man. Like, we're only like by July, we could be invaded anyways. But not surprising.
That's a very bold statement to say, honestly. But the way things are going lately, I wouldn't put it past it.
Right?
It's worth pointing.
What's that, John?
Oh, I would say it's since we did the space and the UFO podcast, the government did release those footage of UAPs and stuff to the public. So I mean, hey, who knows?
Yeah, 2020 is so crazy. The Pentagon admitted that there's UFOs and nobody even flinched. Everybody's just like, yeah, okay.
It's like,
the
listen,
Pentagon openly admitted that the UFOs do exist, so that's like a huge step in the right direction for UFO fans.
It's just weird times that we're in right now, man. I mean, the coronavirus shutting down the world, and the next thing you know, you get I don't know where this even came up at, man, but I seen some crap on Facebook about killer hornets or some shit like that, murderous hornets. Yeah, like where the hell did they even come from? I never even heard of this until I seen a meme on Facebook about it. Then you got the other crazy or the rioting and going on, especially now since the guy that got murdered by the police officer a couple weeks ago or whatnot, George Floyd, I think his name was, and that was wrong, by the way. Don't get me wrong, but this world is going to shit right now,
Yeah, a little bit.
What can you do?
Keep on chugging.
That's all you really can do, man. That's all you really can do.
Try and
I can't wait for things to get back to normal myself. I really can't wait to just be able to do whatever you want to do again. Go to a store without seeing everybody wearing face masks. Funny, I was in Staples yesterday. I was getting another monitor for my computer. And, they have green tape on the floor to give you your 6 foot distance type thing. I swear to you, I'm not exaggerating this. I was probably a foot over the line. I mean, I was 5.5 feet instead of 6. You know what I mean? If that, This lady gave me the coldest stare. Like, for real. Like, made me back up. She didn't have to say anything. I knew what she was looking at. And I wasn't that close to her. I was literally like a foot over the line. 1 foot was on the line. The other foot was just over the line. I'm like, oh my God. Okay, let me back up a little. They're getting a little ridiculous with all this crap, man,
Hey.
You get hit in the head with the old lady handbag because you were a foot.
Yeah, it's crazy out there, man. Crazy.
Murder hunters is like the huge, like that. I just get like I said, though, I don't find it amusing for people getting hurt, but like this year is just going so crazy. Like, and I hop on Facebook and I just see a thing about murder hurting taking over like the East Coast, and I just started laughing. It's like every single time, it's like we think we're done with 2020. Billy Mays pops up and he's like, "Wait, there's more."
But wait, there's more.
Yeah.
Billy Mays, what a good reference. I like that.
Even like
Yeah.
even to start the year, dude. Like to start the year, we lost to Kobe Bryant. Like they had that's still like I still ain't even used to that. Like you know what I mean? Like the guy was
Yeah.
like it's a raised like any basketball fan that grew up watching basketball was basically raised by that guy. Like what you know what I mean? Like how many people do you? I mean, John, you know you're not a sport fan, but how many people do you know like to shoot something in a trash can? It's like Kobe. You know what I mean?
Mm,
It's crazy that he that's how I knew this year was gonna be crazy. He died in that helicopter crash.
Yeah, it was definitely a sad
that's
day, and unfortunately with the coronavirus, I kind of got. I'm not gonna say everybody forgot about him because that's definitely not true, but definitely didn't get as much attention as kind of should have. I mean, with the coronavirus, it kind of took attention away from a lot of things, so I wouldn't doubt it wouldn't for that. But I mean, I didn't, just like you, Andrew, in complete shock that he actually passed away. The guy just retired not too long ago. It's like he had a long life to live, and he's one of the legends of the game. And it's I don't care where you're at in the world, you know who Kobe Bryant is. You know what I mean? You really,
Um,
it's crazy.
all I know is he threw the basketball.
yeah.
But you know of him. That's what I'm saying. You do know of him. If you don't know the game, you know of him, just like you know of Michael Jordan, right?
He also threw the basketball, and he was in that movie.
I was just about to say, you know about Michael Jordan just because of Space Jam.
Yeah,
Is your
right.
fans? Oh wait,
The
can't do that.
classic, man.
Copyright.
A kid that lived in the '90s watched Space Jam.
Oh yeah.
Oh, John, let me ask you.
Hmm.
We had like tackled that conspiracy theory like podcast, and then we had the UFO ones. Do you have any change of mind to how you view conspiracy theories and UFOs now?
No, not really.
You still like gonna die on that hill that like there's just nothing there, huh?
What can I say? I mean, uh, call me a naysayer all you want, but let's face it, the best way to prove something is to have proof. And there's just a whole lot of conjecture right now. And that's it. I'm not trying to dismiss anybody's views or anything, but just give me something I can look at.
I can give you videos.
Okay, yeah, you can give me videos of, shaky cam or off of, airplanes or stuff like that. Like, when the aliens come down, I swear to God, I will look you dead in the eye and say, okay, you were right. Till then, though, I'm on the fence.
Waited my entire life to hear that from you. What about you, Nick? Like, is there any like particular story in the conspiracy theory or the UFO ones that you kind of like that you end up looking into yourself a little bit more?
The ones that I kind of liked, yes. Looked into, no. I mean, I've been pretty swamped with work, and back to the virus and all that, of course. But with the virus came around, the IRS shut down for a while, so ever since they opened back up about 2 weeks ago, I've been getting flooded every day at work, so I don't really have much time to. But yeah, there is Bob Lazar. I mean, that was actually very interesting, and there were some things that bit of him and what he was claiming, and I just didn't know as much as you kind of read off to us and kind of explained, so I did learn some new things. And I can't remember what was the conspiracy theory that you did, John? It was about that video game. What was that called again?
Polybius.
Polybius, thank you. I would have failed even if I would have tried to pronounce it at the time, but my point is that was really interesting. I didn't even know that existed, so that was definitely interesting to hear, and I actually looked into that before we did that episode because you actually gave us a heads up on what you were going to do, so I enjoyed that one. I always like talking about space and UFOs. I, for one, do believe in alien life and UFOs, and I believe in all that. I don't believe for 1 second that we are literally the only life existence in the galaxy. I don't believe that for 1 second. Yeah. So I mean, I've learned a lot actually from the start of this podcast. What was this? Doing this 2 months now, guys? Something like
Yep.
that.
Oh, I'd like to clarify something. It's not that I don't believe that there's not life on other planets or stuff like that. It's the trouble or the part I have questions about is whether or not they've been here.
Okay. I'll give you that, John. I'll give you that. That's a step forward than not believing anything at all. So
Oh no,
I give
I
you that.
always believed like the universe is too goddamn big and there are too many fucking planets that could potentially generate or that have the conditions right for life for humans to be the only, intelligent species, even if it was still 1% of, all possible planet bearing light or life possible planets. That's still, you know, an astronomical number, billions and trillions. It's just
Wait,
I don't think they've been here.
Huh?
no.
I don't agree with that they haven't been here or around our, Earth, planet Earth, I should say. But I could see your point. You're inching forward to, actually coming out and saying I believe in aliens. So good for you.
I do believe in aliens. I don't believe that they've been here.
Okay.
I I think that to the aliens that have been here, I think that we are like they're a big ass science experiment or we're like a reality TV show. You ever watch that episode of South Park where they do like the aliens find out like the South Park kids find out that there's aliens or literally like a giant like huge reality TV show to them. They
Mm,
almost extinct us because we end up finding out we're a reality TV show. I
almost
almost kind of
extinct
figure like
us.
I kind of almost feel like that's the way we are to them. I think we're just like probably like just a giant science experiment.
I don't know about that. I mean, well, let's face it, humans are dicks. There's no reason aliens shouldn't be dicks. So, hey.
Exactly. I don't know. I just think it's something fun to think about, and I thought it would be hilarious that like they made a cartoon and they're predicting what is actually true.
Hmm. Well, The Simpsons has gotten a lot of things accurately predicted. That's actually kind of a fun thing to see, but who knows? Maybe South Park called their shot on that one.
Hey, Simpsons be eerie as a motherfucker.
Hmm.
Hey, Simpsons seems like they got quite a few things like accurate. Didn't they even have an episode of The Simpsons about the coronavirus? Didn't they even have that? I might be wrong on that, but I could have swore that was the thing, right?
They did have an episode about a virus that came out of China that, shit got serious about.
I also like predicted Trump being in office, and like that one was like really creepy because like he even had it where Trump's coming down an excavator, and like the sign fell, and like if you match it up to like the Simpson video, it's like almost like exactly it. Like Trump waves at the same exact time, and like everything is fucking creepy as hell.
Mm.
Simpson was
You
the
sound
damn
like
word.
general, bro.
Could you imagine going over to like your friend's house? He's just got like giant pictures of Simpsons everywhere with like strings attached to everything. He's just got that got
The
that
Simpsons,
crazy look in his eyes. He's like, the Simpsons are behind everything.
the Simpsons conspiracy theory. The truth will shock you.
Might be a new topic on the podcast, everybody.
I don't know. Do any
The
of us watch The
Simpsons-
Simpsons?
More, but shit, we all grew up on that.
Mm.
I'll tell you one episode that I actually thought that I like talking about was your critical thinking episode that you picked, John. I like doing that one, and I thought it's like really important to like hear and learn. I don't think people like really do enough critical thinking in their own entire life, and in this easy and crazy of this world keeps getting. I think that was like a really important one to like to get out there. That I definitely think that we should have another episode, something like that.
Well, I would like to do more philosophy topics in the future, if only because that's it. I get to sit here and rant about something. Uh, but no, that's exactly why I wanted to do that podcast is because it's a skill I don't think a lot of people have or have actively cultivated. Not saying anybody's dumb. It's something it's not just something you do. It's something you got to be aware of and work on. But yeah, we could use a big old fucking spoonful of critical thinking right now.
Oh yeah. Entire country can, man. The entire country's like going on chaos. Entire country's, yeah, everybody's like rioting and everywhere.
We live in
Good, some of them
times.
got good reason to. Honestly, I mean, I don't agree with the writing. There's a fine line between civil protest and actually looting and rioting and creating more mayhem that's actually going on. And I refer back to the police brutality murder that just happened with George Floyd. I think his name was. Of course, it was wrong. And nobody wants to see that shit. Nobody wants to really kind of even ever hear about stuff like that. It's just terrible. But everybody that was filming that, and you could see many people around it, they were just sitting there saying, "Oh, you're killing him. Get off him. This and that." And the next thing you know, a week later, they're rioting. Like, where were you when the cop was literally killing the guy? I mean, now you're trying to burn down auto zones and burn down police stations and all this, but yet stood around and watched a guy literally get killed. It just didn't make any sense to me. Like, you don't. You can't fix violence with more violence. You just can't do that. It just makes no sense, man.
Try doing it peacefully. It didn't work. That's what the whole thing with the NFL about them kneeling was. Celebrities have talked about it, like the what do you call it, in the award ceremonies and stuff like that. Like, they've tried it peacefully. Eventually, when peaceful protest doesn't work, that's what it's going to result to. It's going to result to violence.
You can't fix violence with violence. It's just never going to work that way. It's not going to work.
Just creates a cycle of hatred. A note on that. One thing that has been coming out a lot is that it seems like there are. It's not just like most of the people of color have been protesting peacefully, but there's been a lot of white folk in black masks and whatnot running around starting fires that the big theory is that there are white supremacists going around trying to escalate the level of violence in the riots, which holy shit.
That wouldn't surprise me. That's a actual conspiracy theory that's been one of them that's been proven true. We did that, and oh man, I'd have to do my research into it. Pretty sure it was in New York. Obviously, it was a protest or whatever that was going on, and it was peaceful. But the government hired people to start violence, start breaking windows, to try to escalate the situation like that. I can't remember exactly. I'm pretty sure it was about 2016 that we found out about it, but you can mark this up into the conspiracy theories as we prove. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me too
much. Well, I mean, that's it.
What about you? What do you think about that, Nick? That could be possible?
I'm on the fence about it, honestly. I don't really have too much elaboration on that, to be honest with you. Yeah, I'm on the fence about it, honestly.
It's worth pointing out that don't take that as gospel. That's just something I heard, through the grapevine and stuff like that. There's no, or rather, I should say, I don't have any concrete evidence or proof to say that it is happening, only that I've seen it mentioned more than enough to lend it some credence.
It's like I said, I've heard that this is this definitely is a conspiracy theory that has been proven true. People could look that up. I'll do my research. Like, next time when we because there is going to be a conspiracy theory part 2, and when we have that episode, this is definitely going to be part of. There's also when we did that conspiracy theory episode, we also did something on the ones that are proven true. One of the things that popped up was MK Ultra, and it kind of intertwined with Polybius, the topic, the one you picked, John.
Yeah.
And, since we've had that podcast, there's this book that's called Chaos. something that it's called Chaos, and it's about Marilyn Manson. And basically proven now. It's proven that Charles Manson is actually a CIA being brainwashed by the CIA, and he kept like getting locked up, and the CIA would like release him from drug, try to start a cult and everything like that because they wanted to give bad name for hippies.
Hmm.
So he was like all that MK Ultra shit that was going down. He was one of them.
Hmm.
The same thing with what's his name uh the Unabomber. What's his name? Kyle Lewinsky or something like that.
Yeah.
However you pronounce it. Yeah, however you pronounce his name. And he was like part of that LSD. Like I think his shit happened in like Stanford or something.
I don't know too much about that one in particular, but definitely worth something looking up.
Oh yeah,
I'll
it's
definitely have
definitely
to take a look at that myself.
Hmm.
That sounds very interesting and a little far fetched, honestly. If you know what I mean. That's just my opinion on it right now, but I'll take a look at it.
Oh yeah, dude. Once you just start getting down that rabbit hole, bro, I'm telling you.
Ooh.
Right?
Sounds a little too much of like tinfoil on a head type thing to me.
A little bit.
I'm actually looking up the name of the book so I can tell people exactly what it's called.
Hmm.
Called it's Charles Manson, the CIA, and the Secret History of the 60s. It is by a book by Dan Bring O'Neill. I actually watched this guy on Joe Rogan's podcast, and evidently the guy put 20 years making this book.
Really?
Yep. He started it off with doing just like an article for like New York Times or some shit like that, and he just kept going further and further down the rabbit hole. And next thing you know, he just had this whole whistleblowing thing happening.
Wow.
It's pretty crazy shit.
Hmm. Well, for a lighter topic, did you somebody recently just posted on the JNA Facebook page, hey, check us out, listeners, concerning what was it, like Nas says he could take Eminem, or Nas said he couldn't take Eminem or something? I'd have to look it up specifically.
I'm like,
Would definitely have some balls to say that he Eminem, I would say. I didn't hear that honestly, but I would definitely want to hear that though. That would be one for the ages, honestly.
Mm.
It was all DMX saying that he could take him about.
Okay.
Out of here, DMX, get the fuck out of here with that.
Ooh.
Dude, I love X, man. I'm a huge DMX fan. No.
I love DMX too, man. I even like his "Give Me a Sign" album. I thought that was pretty. I mean, there was like a couple songs or a few songs on it, I should say, but you know, in that song in particular, I actually liked as well. I mean, I'm a huge DMX fan as well, but come on, bro, sit your ass down. You're not touching him.
He's a dude. He's a great freestyler. Just I don't know. I couldn't see him. That's just my opinion. Like I love his music, bro.
Mm. Yeah. The article's title was DMX claims, quote unquote, Eminem don't want it with him.
But he could be talking about fight because I could think DMX could whoop M's ass.
I wouldn't debate that, honestly. when was that released, John? Does it say?
Let me check the article, and while I've got that here, the person who posted the article is actually one of my other brothers from another mother. Like honestly, if you ever had the time, I'd recommend him as a guest on this podcast. But it was Tim Steffens. Like
all right.
he's another one. Like through the trenches, man. Fucking blood.
All right, cool.
Oh,
That'd be really cool, honestly, to bring on a guest on the show. I think that would be actually a really good idea.
Somebody I used to work with actually just recommended that, or was asking about that rather. If we had people who sat down with us, or if we just pre-recorded everything. As y'all know, that's it. We just record these and throw them up on YouTube after just basic editing and stuff. I'm not exactly great at this, just passable. But to get back on topic, the article was actually published on May 20th of 2020.
No, DM.
Recent, yeah. DMX back in early 2000s, I'd say maybe he has a better chance, but now, get the hell out of here, bro. Just stop. Just please stop.
He a crazy motherfucker. Yeah, I don't like he used to have a reality TV show back in the day, dude, and like one of the episodes he's just like he's drugged out of his mind and he's just walking around pretending to be like a police officer and shit. Like, DMX a crazy fucking
I'd like to point out, I guess just or because I am actually going through the article now, when DMX says, M doesn't want it, he says, more or less Eminem would be uninterested and DMX is more interested in going after Jay-Z.
guy. Oh really?
Hmm.
That's not any better for him.
No, I don't
Yeah,
believe
it really
so.
isn't. Yeah, Max, I don't know what you're on lately, bro, but you need to relax, dude, because you ain't touching either one of those guys. I'm sorry, but I don't care how much backlash this gets about that. I don't think DMX would stand tall with M at all, and Jay-Z either. I don't think he would.
I mean DMX could battle, dude. He had that for long with Ja Rule, like when they had all that thing went down with Eminem, and like he makes good battle songs and like he's a good freestyler and everything like that. But I just wouldn't put him up there on like Jay-Z's level. It's my personal opinion.
Yeah, no.
Jay-Z's
Sorry.
like one of the best to ever do it.
This is some way back in the game. That would make more sense than him actually being serious. I don't know.
Even back in the day, I couldn't. Even back then, I couldn't see it. Jay-Z's like he's his own unique style, dude. Like he don't write rhymes on paper, man. He writes it inside his head. That guy's a really fucking smart guy. He's not a dummy by any means. He can battle.
Not only wit to the sense that he, like Biggie, he always basically memorizes rhymes in his head, but not really write them down. He's also a really good businessman.
Yeah. He
He's done.
owned Brooklyn Nets for the longest time.
Him and Beyonce, don't they have some? I know they have some kind of share with the Miami Dolphins now too, something like that.
I think they have enough money to buy the country or some shit. I think.
That is a rich couple of people.
Yeah, for real, man.
I think.
Or what about you guys say that the fucking Joe Rogan just got $100 million to go over to Spotify?
I saw that. I didn't really pursue it because, well, I mean, I'm sure Joe Rogan is great at what he does, but he doesn't do content I'm generally interested in.
A lot of he has a lot of like scientists and physicists and shit like that. Huh?
Yeah, but it's not necessarily like yes, they do talk about the nuts and bolts and mechanics or something, but it's more often for, just sort of mass consumption rather than getting into anything real specific.
That's true. They're just kind of like free walling it out there. I just thought that was insane for a fucking podcast. $100 million. God damn.
It's popular. I mean, that's it.
Yes. Holy shit.
It's going to drive traffic to Spotify. That's it. He'll probably end up doing sponsored ads. Well, that's up to him. I'm not going to speak for him or anything. But yeah, I can see why they'd want to do it.
I heard that is like Spotify got like 2 million subscribers or some shit like that overnight. Like as soon as they said it. I'm not too sure if that's true. That could be just what do you call it? Fucking clickbait bullshit. But I just think that you could tell. They're like, dude, don't get me wrong. Obviously, anybody that's listening to this podcast can tell that I'm a huge fan of Joe Rogan's podcast. I love listening to it. The guy that like pretty much any and every single top tackles, you know what I mean? But like, come on, you do not need $100 million just to fucking sit down and talk.
Famous and you've been that famous for.
What's that, Nick?
So when you're famous and you've been that kind of famous for quite some time, and he's been doing the podcast now for 11 years, I think it's been, or 10, 11 years, and yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just what happens. I mean, think about any kind of actor like that. They start out making so money, and then they get a part in some. Think about the Avengers, how much money Robert Downey Jr. made for doing the event. Imagine how much money Robert Downey Jr. made just by doing the Little movie, which wasn't that good, by the way. It really wasn't, right? But again, it's comes to being a celebrity, and the more you kind of grow your reputation, and the money you're going to get for things like that. Whether it's, takes much talent or not, it's just going to happen.
I don't know. I don't understand the reason why we so much money into entertainers. We don't put money towards the people that actually deserve it. It's like a big reason why doctors, you go to the doctors immediately trying to get you on pills. It's because they get money for getting whatever pills they get on. The reason why is because they're in so much debt when they come out of fucking college that they're up to their ears in debt. So they're trying to make money any way possible just so they can get out of debt instead of actually focusing on your health and trying to get you better. And same thing with teachers. I know we've said it a few times on this podcast, but come on, man. Why can't we pay our fucking teachers?
Yeah.
People keep getting dumber in this goddamn country, and we keep, it's not gonna. They say it's not a problem that's gonna get fixed. It seems like teachers keep making less and less.
Yeah. Well, you know what
Well,
they
you can go
say,
down the line,
everything.
man. All right, John, go ahead.
No, everything's going up but the wages.
Into that. But you can go down the line with that. You could say firefighters, you could say police officers, you can say many other fields. I'm not saying one's more important than the other. Of course, teachers, they get paid pennies compared to what they should be getting paid. But I go down the line, man. There's so many more fields right now that are very important in our world, let alone just our country, that are just getting paid pennies. I think to be a cop when you first start out, and don't quote me on this, everybody. I think I read this somewhere or heard it from an individual that had a family member in the police force, but I think it's like $35,000 or $32,000 to start you out as a police officer, a patrolman. It's like, wow, what the hell is that?
And the training is shit.
Mm-hmm.
I was just talking to Nick not so long ago about this. Gang's got an idea that every single police officer should at least be a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or something along those lines. They should at least be trained better to know how to handle people instead of having to reach for their weapon or something like that. What we have for police brutality in this country, fucking crazy. We're not only leading in the entire world, we're leading whoa. We're leading by times 100. I think the next closest country is 150, and we're 3,000 something police per casualty. Yeah, that is insane, man. That's something that is definitely needs looked into.
Yeah.
It's a lot more to do with. There's more, and I'm not going to say this as a fact, so don't take this wrong, guys. But I think there's harsher penalties for certain crimes in other countries than we have. A lot of times, depending on what you do, it's a slap on the wrist, man. You go to jail for a couple of nights, you get out on bail, and slap you with some community service and put you on probation, and you're free to go. You know what I mean? It's nothing compared to other countries. I'm sure you guys heard the expression, don't nobody want to go to jail in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Nobody want to go to jail in Mexico. Well, why do you think they say that? It's because, well, if you do commit a crime, they got one of the, not only the nastiest and worst jails or, prison facilities from around the world, in my opinion, and from what I know, but they don't treat you good, man. You know what I mean? You don't have any rights in that regard. So if you do a crime, it's big penalties. So people think of that. I'm not gonna say everybody does, because you're gonna have your nuts one way or another. But a lot of people do think of that before they commit a crime. You know what I mean? I think they do, in my opinion. I guess not factual, but I think that does say this.
It definitely deserve a harsher punishment. You can go on YouTube and look up the videos all day long. There's even this one I've seen it's one of the sadder ones. This lady's got it's a baby pit bull. It's when I say baby, I mean legit a little bit bigger than a baby. It's nowhere even near a big dog. It's just a really small pit bull puppy, and the woman opens up the door and the puppy comes out, clearly wagging his tail. First thing this cop does is reach for his fucking 9mm and shoot down the dog dead. Dude, you got mace, you got a taser, you got so many other dude, you got a baton and shit like that. Why are you reaching for the gun and shooting the goddamn dog? That's not even trying to attack you. It's just wagging its tail. It just wanted to say hi. You just took a family member, basically a family member away because they weren't trained correctly.
Mm.
Police officers definitely need to be trained a lot more than they are nowadays. I 100% agree.
Well, I don't know. Is that really something that comes down to training or not? Like, in my line of work, I've had many dogs let out on me, and you know, like I know purely from experience. Okay, stay still, don't move, and the dog will stop and probably sniff me first more than anything. But like, when a dog comes charging at you, there's a panic moment there, and
They're
that's it.
panic enough
It's
to where
hmm?
they're panic enough to where you're wanting to reach for a gun and shoot the damn thing, especially like a puppy.
Well, considering I have a gun in my hand, not a firearm, but a gun that sprays, pesticides. Eh,
You haven't
Also,
even done it.
hmm?
well, also got to consider this too. I mean, well respected, especially around kind of project areas and kind of rural areas. So it's not like they're when they walk like John's job where he's walking up to the spray, whatever. I don't even know exactly what you do. From what I understand, spray lawns to keep some chemicals and keep shit from eating away at people's environment or just agriculture in general. But that might
Not
be a little
even
different
close,
for a
but that's
police
okay.
officer. My bad. Excuse me. Please correct me if when I'm wrong. Please do. But my point is, might be a little different for a police officer. Think like a postman.
Hmm.
People that deliver mail. I mean, you see movies with that all the time, where the postman's walking up to the yard and sees the dog and he's running for his life and shit like that. You know what I mean? It's like it might be a little different for cops. I mean, because a lot of people like cops. I just throw that out there. They really don't. So that might
Hmm.
just be a little different for that. But again, I do agree with you. Yes, they do train more because I don't know the specifics on how much training they go through to become a police officer before they get a badge and get a gun and go out there and patrol. But I know it is nothing in too much depth. I know it's not like in serious detail where they're spending years training. I think it's like a couple months or something like that. Then you get a badge and a gun and go out in the streets. So I agree with you 100%.
The amount of racist cops that they have too is like absolutely absurd. Like, go watch this podcast with like a Boston police officer, and he was saying like he was a Boston. I'm not Boston. I'm sorry. Baltimore police officer, and he was a police officer in Baltimore PD for like 10 years. He even said like probably 50 to 60% of the cops in the PD were racist. And it's like they would look for a reason to try to like hit a guy or a black guy or whatever. Like legit to openly to talk about that. Like it's that's something like come on, man. Yeah, we can do better psych evals or something. Like we have to do something better so people like that aren't in a position of power.
Mm. Well, I mean, that kind of just points to systemic racism in America anyway. Like, I hate to be the okay boomer guy, but let's face it, most people of our generation, or at least in my experience, and granted, I live in Michigan, we've got a very large African American or black population, so like, uh, at least in my age group, racism really isn't a thing. Like, I've never really interacted with another white person that was, actively racist or anything. And
I'm
it,
still the
That's
it's
because
generation.
you're up north. It's because you're up north, dude. Come down the Florida, they're fucking everywhere.
probably.
Yeah, well, even most see that are racist, even down here, it's the older generation. Yeah,
Mm,
you got a few, oddballs in there that are our age. I'm not saying you don't by any means. I'm saying the majority of the people that are racist, and depending from who I've met and seen, are in their mid to late 40s or above.
And
Older generation.
generally, dude, with like a lot of white dudes, if there ain't any black people around, like they'll be racist, and as soon as black people come around, they're not racist. I see that. I don't know. Every week. Oh, I say
mm.
it's a daily thing, but it's something I see at least once a week down here in Florida. I have since I moved down here.
The world is a shitty place. We do need the
I
aliens.
don't. I've never gotten fucking racism, and like I remember learning about it when I was a kid, and it even like baffled me then. I'm like, we hate those people because they have a different color, like, and I don't even make any sense. Like, but like look at a crayon box, man. Like you just gotta pick out one color in that crayon box and be like, the rest of those are shit.
Mm.
You know what I mean? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
I have a saying I'm fond of when it comes to this, and that's doesn't matter what color you are, we all eat, sleep, shit, piss, fuck, and die the same. Why you so concerned about the rapper?
Like that.
Like that.
Uh,
Yeah.
like okay, let's try to like the truth. Like we keep diving into these fucking depressing ass topics and shit like that. Like I don't want to be like that. Like what's a let me hear, Nick. What is a interesting fact that you learned from this podcast so far that's like really stood out? Like, what was one of some of the most interesting facts that you learned?
Oh, that's. I wish you'd have got to me last, honestly, but okay, I'll take it now.
You're on
Interesting.
the spot, motherfucker.
We're doing it live.
Man, that's a really good one. I mean, I've learned quite a bit here, guys. I mean, I'm not saying I'm retarded or stupid by any means, but I am not the sharpest tool in the shed. I don't do. Let me rephrase that. I don't do as much research, or have not done as much research in different topics like you guys have. And that's a sad thing to say, honestly, which is why I kind of wanted to do this podcast with you guys, so you guys can enlighten me on quite a few different things. But if I had to take a stab at it, if I absolutely had to pick one, I would say something of the lines of, hard one. I'm sorry, but that's it. You know what I'm going to say? And this is going to make me feel stupid, but it is what it is. Judge all you want, everybody. It wasn't on the podcast that I learned. It was the topic second topic I was going to pick, everybody. I was going to pick artificial intelligence. I thought I had a grasp, not a concrete idea, but a grasp on what artificial intelligence was. It wasn't until John came, I was talking to John about, I don't even know how we got into this kind of, I blurted out with the topic I wanted to do, and he kind of said something about it. And come to find out, I didn't have a clue of what it was. Didn't have a clue. And I misunderstood automation, artificial intelligence, which that is a topic that will be discussed on this episode. I actually switched that up because I kind of felt embarrassed, honestly, everybody. I think that if I had to pick something right now that I've learned the most, I think that would probably be what I want to pick with out of the spur of the moment that you put me on the light type thing. So I think that's probably the one thing that I've learned that's most significant so far.
I actually learned on that one too because I ended up watching like YouTube videos on like the AI and everything shit myself. So that was pretty cool. What about you, John?
Honestly, just kind of, your guys' tastes, what you guys think. Like, not any particular one topic, just, kind of getting to know my brothers better. And I realize that's the warm and fuzzy thing to say coming out of the sociopath, but hey, it is what it is.
Fuck you, John. I had to sit here and think hard about what the hell I learned, and you're just going to get off with that?
Well,
fuck you, man.
While you were talking, I was thinking and listening.
This podcast is forever proof that John has feelings. Just leave that pause.
All right. Yeah. Well, we won't edit that one out.
That is too fucking funny. Okay, for me personally, one of my favorite things I've learned from podcast, dude, is the distance between Earth, Moon, Earth, and Pluto. Like those numbers blew my motherfucking mind. Like that blew me away. Like I really thought I had an understanding how far things were away out there, and then like now I know I don't know jack shit about how fucking far everything is. No wonder it's taking us so long to get Mars. It's so far.
Yep. Space is big.
Big. You guys see the SpaceX launch today?
Yeah.
No. Cool. What do you mean space excellence, please?
Elon Musk's SpaceX organization just sent he also worked with NASA, sent 2 astronauts to the space station and it is the first time in human history that a private space organization has sent any astronauts to that space station. That's how I see the picture of the module.
Yeah,
Fucking crazy, right?
very sci-fi.
Honestly, I haven't heard a thing about this, and I'm kind of myself or not. So I'll
Yeah,
have to take a look.
if you could probably just Google it and just put SpaceX module or whatever, and you can see the images. The same thing with anybody else, but like it shows like the first one, and like we got in like the early '60s, where we used to get to the moon, and then the ones in 2000. It shows like the new one. I like, dude, it looks like. Tony, it looked like even more futuristic than Star Trek, man. Shit, that's a two big ass monitor. They look so dope. So jealous.
It's
Wish I
a
could be. What's
that's the biggest important thing about it is that it's the first time a private company, not with any kind of major government backing or anything, has gotten into space. Granted, yeah, he's working with NASA in order to go up to the ISS, but it's still like I guess kind of a metric of for humanity, I guess, that space has just become or is becoming rather much more accessible. Like it's still a
that?
massive undertaking, but I mean, remember when the first time we went to the moon, there had to be speeches and all sorts of hubbub about it. Now, like I know it, or the only reason I know that the launch happened today is because I actually know somebody who works at SpaceX.
Shit, really?
Yeah.
Oh man, what do they do?
Uh, I don't know what he does specifically. I do know he's some manner of engineer. I do know that he's been working at SpaceX now for quite a while, actually. Like I want to say at least 7 years. That's the first time I remember him talking about it.
That's so fucking awesome. Shout out to your friend, dude, because that's an awesome ass job. It makes me feel like a loser.
Uh, for the record, his name is Neo Ray Gayotin. He's a retired sailor, or I don't know what the appropriate Navy term is, but yeah, he was on boats for the military. Uh, the way I know him is actually through video games.
Uh, Shout out to your friend, man. That's an awesome ass job. I'm jealous you get to work at SpaceX, man. And if you ever get the chance, please tell me what it's like to talk to Elon Musk, because he's got to be a weird guy to talk to.
Throw the words out of my mouth, Andrew. Definitely jealous of that. That's really cool. Actually, very cool.
Well, couldn't
No,
have
that's
happened
the
to a
kind
better
of guy
person,
like.
really.
Is that John?
I said it couldn't happen to a better person, really. Like Neo, man, fucking he's a hell of a guy.
Cool, man. So I wish I knew somebody. I don't know. We feel like I have no fucking good friends now, man. I gotta go. I gotta go fucking like go hang around a fucking NASA fucking place for a while now to try to make some fucking friends. Just kind of even that up. Oh man, I don't like. So you don't have any idea what he does? It like he's just like an engineer for SpaceX. Like did he have anything to do with the shuttle launch today? Do you know or?
I don't know if he was involved in that today. Like that's it. I honestly, he's pretty kind of hush hush about what he actually does there, either contractually obligated or because he's embarrassed. I don't know. He might just fucking sweep the floors there. But yeah, that's.
Maybe we could get him on a guest on the podcast one day, man, because that would be awesome to talk to him about him.
Oh shit, I don't know. He's or between doing that job and his kid, like I haven't seen fucking hotter hair for him of in a dog's age.
Okay.
I really like that idea, guys, of bringing some guests on to the podcast, neighbors or friends or family. I think that would be a really good idea to kind of branch out like that. Honestly, my opinion, I guess.
Definitely an idea, and if we can, if our listeners, if you want to, sit or come up with an idea or possibly sit in, that's something we might be able to do. Definitely an idea for the future.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I'm gonna go try tracking down Giorgio from the Ancient Aliens. Get him on the phone. He'd just
that
be
the
a
meme
fun
guy?
ass kind of
You got them connects, huh?
has to do it, dude. At least I'll have one other person and talk to try to convince John to the dark side of aliens.
Is that the
I
meme
think we made
guy?
progress. I think we made progress with John about that today. I really do think we made some kind of progress with him.
By little man.
You didn't make progress. That's where I already was. Like, just from a
Whatever, though.
scientific standpoint, it's almost impossible that we are the only intelligent life in this universe. Whether or not other intelligent life has been here, that's what's in question. Like, I always believed aliens existed, not that, it's the being here. That's the point of contention.
All right. Get your buddy.
Well, all right. Here's something I'd like to pose to you guys. Have any interesting music you've gotten into? Have you maybe checked out, some of the bands I was sucking off when we did the music podcast?
You want me to go first, so you got time to think?
It'd probably be for the best. We know Nick's a bit slow.
You know what? Fuck
No,
you.
what burning?
You dropped a very big question on me. So, what's the most important thing I've learned? This is, I don't need time. I'm going first. Honestly, John, I have not listened to that. Have I picked up new music? Not necessarily. Honestly, I remember. I mean, I don't really listen to that much music recently because I've been pretty busy, and I come home. I don't get home till almost 9 o'clock at night. When I get home, I eat a little bit of dinner. I go lay down and watch, a TV show for 1 or 2 hours, and I'm sleeping. I wake up, go back to work. You listen to music while I'm at work. There's a radio on in the background, but it's usually classic rock, and there's some hip hop and rap, but nothing out of the ordinary that's not normal to me. So I promise you, I will check out the bands that you. So I think I still they're on here, I believe. But I will check them out. I promise you, I will.
I have checked them. All right, they're pretty fucking dope. Like that is pretty dope ass shit. You've turned me on to music before. There's even guy that does like cover for video game music that you turned me on to that I've listened to, and like I subscribe to him on YouTube. Anytime he puts up a new video, I generally listen to it. But like like the bit like I will like contend to what John has said. People band made is pretty fucking dope. That all being said, we are gonna wrap up this 10th episode, number 10, guys. Yay! Let's give a round of applause for each other. 10 episodes in. I want to thank you, everybody, for listening. Please like and subscribe. Make sure to make any comments, and we'll be sure to either bring them up on the podcast or talk to you directly there. If you have any suggestions of what you would like us to do, be sure to share that. And also, be safe out there, man. Just wash your hands and on with your bit.
Wash your hands. Be kind to each other.